of the cold spell has begun. There's more cold air on the way, unfortunately, and for some of you, the snow has already begun. There is more of that to come as well. Your first forecast, 803. Okay, temperatures tomorrow even colder, and then it gets brutally cold as we head into the weekend. Snow will last tonight into the first half of the day tomorrow, especially off to the east. And then we go into just extremely cold mode with temperatures below zero over the weekend. Wind chill values could be approaching 40 below in some areas. Let's start with the snow, though. We have winter storm warnings. Now, they've been expanded westward, now including kind of right along Highway 281. It includes Grand Island and Hastings. This is where we have the potential for the most significant snowfall. Further to the west, we have winter weather advisories, northern Kansas, up through central Nebraska. That will run till noon tomorrow. You go up here to the northwest, it runs till about 6 a.m. tomorrow, and this is where about 2 to 5 inches of snow is going to be a possibility. So looking at Viper radar. Now, you get southeast areas right now, all of this activity here, still trying to overcome some drier air. But let me tell you, when it does happen and the atmosphere saturates fully, that snow starts coming down very quickly. We have seen heavier bands of snow here in north central Nebraska, showed you the camera network there in Broken Bow, and still have some moderate snow falling around Callaway up towards Broken Bow. But then here in central Nebraska, this area here around Central City, Grand Island, this went from a few flakes to a pretty significant band of snow in a very short amount of time. St. Paul to Palmer right now, that is some very heavy snow falling between Palmer and Fullerton. That could be 1.5 inches per hour. That's the kind of snow rate there, and starting to see it fill in. And that's what's expected over the next few hours. This snow is going to fill in here in south central areas. So by 8, 9 o'clock, that snow is very much ongoing, and then will just start to work its way east. Here we are at 1 a.m. We still have snow in the area. By tomorrow morning, it's shifting a little further to the east, but Tri-Cities, we may not be completely done with it until about 9 or 10 o'clock. We have another quick little burst of snow that could come in Friday night. That looks pretty insignificant. As far as the totals go right now, here in central areas, about 2 to 5 inches. Again, a sharp cutoff as you go west, should be more in the 1 to 3 inch range. But you go Grand Island east northeastward, 5 to 9, maybe 6 to 10 in northeast areas. Yeah, that could be some pretty significant snow. And keep in mind, the winds are howling, and the temps, oh, they are struggling. 9 in Kearney right now. In Hastings, it's 1 in Ainsworth, 14 in Beatrice. But those winds coming in out of the north, slightly northeast, sustained around 30. That means blowing snow is going to be extremely difficult to see. Once it starts snowing, it's going to be really hard to travel in because of these winds. And then look at what it feels like out there right now. It feels about 15 to nearly 20 degrees below zero. It's going to get worse. That's the problem. So we have a wind chill warning that will be in effect Friday all the way until Tuesday. And then tonight it's a wind chill advisory because tonight could feel about 25 below. By the time we get into Saturday morning, it could feel closer to 40 below. 2 degrees, that's the low tonight. Conditions will deteriorate very quickly. Like I said, once it starts snowing with these winds and the dry nature of the snow, it's going to be really tough to travel in. 8 the high tomorrow. The snow moves out. The cold air, though, keeps moving in. 7 degrees below zero, the low temp tomorrow night, and unfortunately, that's going to get worse, too. Lows tonight could already be below zero up in the northern part of the state. Many of us should kind of hover just above zero, and then temps tomorrow. Now, southwest areas, you're not going to be too bad, 15 to 20. Don't worry, it's coming. The rest of us looking at single-digit highs and then just brutally cold as we get into the weekend, early next week. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a high of 1. We'll finally get back above zero. But there's a lot of concerns right now. And we talked about it yesterday that traveling, obviously, with this snow coming in is going to be extremely difficult. But even with the cold, make sure you've got blankets and gloves and things with you to try to stay safe.
For sure. Tim.
Gross.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, we do thank you. When it gets to be life or death situations.
Yeah,
here.
we'll get through it, but
Yeah.
it's going to be tough.
We'll be